A national day labor chain applied to open an outlet in this uptown Chicago neighborhood between two adjacent wards. It will be across the street from a school, a youth center, and a senior center. Sound like a good idea? Many people in the community are saying, not in my backyard. For Nancy Meyerson, who lives just hundreds of feet from the proposed site, the whole plan can be summed up in just 2 words.
Bad idea.
This small storefront here at 4830 North Sheridan Road is at the center of the debate. Labor Ready Incorporated, a Tacoma, Washington-based temporary labor provider, hopes to move in here in a few weeks. Neighbors against this site fear that some job applicants with criminal histories could endanger children and increase traffic on already crowded streets.
Our primary concern has to be protecting our young people and the seniors who are very vulnerable.
The seniors that will be put in danger, according to Meyerson, are the residents of the Hayworth Terrace Senior Center, just around the corner from the proposed Labor Ready site.
So many incidents we had, and so I'm sorry people need the job. However, if you do choose this neighborhood, I'm not to go for it.
My concern are for the residents and, the danger it may, bring to them as they're walking through the neighborhood. So, yeah, it's a possibility that, criminal activity could increase.
Meyerson adds that Labor Ready has a history of poorly screening job applicants. She cited a case in San Francisco where a registered sex offender was placed for work at a furniture delivery company after Labor Ready failed to fully research his criminal history.
He was actually arrested at an employee's, at a client's home. The man was wearing a monitor, and he was placed in that kind of job.
This Labor Ready branch in Des Plaines is one of 4 in the Chicagoland area. Labor Ready reports that it locates branches based on employment figures, demographics, accessibility to public transportation, and parking availability in the area. StopLaborReady.org is a joint effort between Meyerson and local community members to stop the company's 5th Chicago area branch from opening in Uptown. One of Meyerson's strongest allies is Bob Wild, a neighbor and board member of the McCormick Boys and Girls Club, which is located directly across the street from the Labor Ready storefront. Wild fears that the business may provide a bad example to disadvantaged children at the club.
Looking out the window at that location and all these guys lined up trying to get a job and coming back and just hanging around the neighborhood, I think just creates a very negative role model for kids that are trying to overcome that.
Wild hinted at even more devastating consequences.
The worst case scenario is, one of the children here is assaulted. That's the demonstrable worst case. One of the children that goes to the school is involved in a pedestrian accident because of increased vehicles in the area.
In an emailed statement, Labor Ready's Vice President of Corporate Communications, Stacy Burke, explained, "Because of the branch's proximity to the Boys and Girls Club and school, we have agreed to screen all applicants for registered sex offenders and will disqualify those workers from employment."
Day labor has a very bad reputation, and the people who work for day labor organizations are many times not people who can be employed in other situations. Not everybody who works day labor has a substance abuse problem or mental health issue. Sometimes people are just down in their luck and they take day labor jobs to make a living or to supplement their income.
Alderman Helen Schiller, whose office is behind me, has been a steadfast supporter of the Labor Ready site. We made numerous phone calls and sent several emails, but her office still declined to comment on this issue.
I think she's extraordinarily sincere in her views and her desire to help people that need employment. But as I've told her on a number of occasions, there has to be another location.
Bob Watson, another neighbor opposed to Labor Ready, explained how the site will primarily affect the 48th Ward, since it will be at the very edge of Schiller's 46th.
But I do think there's a great deal of hypocrisy in opposing day labor elsewhere in the heart of her ward and encouraging Labor Ready to open up where it affects this boys club where we're meeting, the school. I think it's a very callous thing for her to do.
Since Alderman Schiller declined to comment, we filed a Freedom of Information Act request to gauge the community support for the proposed labor-ready site. It turns out that Alderman Schiller did receive 10 letters in support of the site, but 10 times that number in opposition. Chicago area businesses that submitted letters in support of the site used almost identical wording. Many of the letters state Labor Ready's exact slogan, "We put people to work." But according to Bob Wild, it won't be the day laborers who benefit most.
Frankly, the only people it's going to help are the currency exchange and the liquor store.
For the Urban Warriors, this is Matt Albuquerque.